Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Swati, 7 a.m. in Los Angeles. I hope you all got the correct time slot and you could start this session by clicking on on the 7 a.m. slot because last time some people I know had a little bit of a problem. Although, as you must have noticed, I'm starting a little bit late. One more time, if that happens, just bear with me and wait for a little bit. Sometimes it can take me a little long to get this whole thing started. So I'm glad some people have stuck around and let me check. Um, Still waiting. Anybody else? Yes, Richard and Elke are there. I hope you guys are there still and everything is fine. Um, and I can start my session. Okay, so today, in fact, what I would like to talk about is a little bit of a continuation of what I had already said. Somebody's saying, starting right in the moment, Richard, at least on YouTube. Yes. Um, some people are still waiting. I hope you guys can all see it. Um, in any case, so I would like to talk about the relationships aspect. Um, as I said, a lot of people would like to have better relationships. And when they say better relationship or better friends, it can mean a few things. People are on a long spectrum in this particular sense. Some people, they are really having a hard time with friends. They feel like they don't have that many friends. They have a hard time making friends, or some of them, even they when they do make friends, it's hard to keep friends, or it is hard to feel the connection with people. They feel lonely, they feel isolated, and they would like to change this and get into a better relationship spectrum. Now, starting from that, then there are people who do have friends, they're okay with that, but the family is a problem. People in the family can create issues for them. They don't feel they have a good connection with the family members, especially the parents, one of the parents, and they would like to change that. Then there are people who do have a lot of friends. There is not really a friendship problem or a family problem, but just one or two people in their lives are problematic or difficult. And these people may be important to them, important enough for them to figure out how to improve relationship with them. Now, a lot of people are on this spectrum somewhere. Like some people say that uh, I am okay. So in any case, so this is the spectrum. Now the question is, how do we want to use mindfulness and cousins of mindfulness, I would say, such as self-compassion, compassion, loving kindness, and these kinds of ideas to improve relationships. Now, first, I would like to talk about the people who have a feeling of some amount of loneliness or some amount of being by themselves even when they are in the crowd, or they feel like they're having a hard time making friends, or they have friends but they feel like it's hard to keep friends. They feel that people are not always nice to them. They say things that are hurtful, they do things that are hurtful on a regular basis, and it seems to be a pattern. Or they feel like people leave me, I'm not interesting enough. I'm not somebody they can keep engaged in. They seem to leave me. So that is like the most difficult case, and that's what I would like to address first. So before that, I want to make sure that people are able to join this session. Um, hmm, I'm not sure why there is a problem in starting this session because as far as I can see, I see that the broadcast has started. Is anybody able to see me and hear me? Okay. So let me know if you are still able to see me. Um, if you're not, I'm not sure why not, because as far as I can see, everything is going okay. In any case, at least those who are not able to see the live session will be able to see the recorded session. That reminds me, I need to have my headphones on. Makes it a lot better. Okay. All right. So looks like some people are saying I'm okay now. That's good. Great. Susan is able to see me and hear me. That's great. When you are dealing with technology, sometimes there are some issues, especially when you are dealing with Google Hangout like technology, which is basically you're not paying for it, so you can't complain too much. Uh, okay, now Naraun, Naraun, is that how I was saying his name right? I hope. Just on YouTube, and after clicking on the link of the reminder, not on Google Plus. Okay. Oh well, I hope whatever it is that you guys are able to now see me, because I think that I am going to talk about an important topic. As I said, first I'm selecting people who seem wounded. What that means is the people seem to think that they are not able to keep friends very well. They may have a feeling of either people don't stay, or they are not very nice to them, or they say hurtful things a lot of times, and so on and so forth. If that is the case, I would say think about some kind of wound that you have suffered from. There is some trauma or some sensitivity that is extra sensitive. What I mean by extra sensitive, I'm just using it as a colloquial term, but what I mean by that is overall there is a tendency to take everything very seriously, and because of that there must have been some experiences that have been traumatic experiences, or it's hard to leave those experiences. There is an open wound. And as a result, anytime there's a slight breeze or somebody says something, it's hard to let go. It's hard to forgive that person and still carry on. And the wound gets open. It's an open wound already, but it gets hurt. It gets to bleed. And if that is going on, there's some kind of a trauma. And look for that kind of a trauma and work on how to heal that trauma. The good news is whatever it is, it can be healed. And I want to show you an excellent book by Kirsten Neff, Dr. Neff, called The Proven Power of Being Kind to Yourself. The Proven Power of Being Kind to Yourself by Kristen Neff. I have already mentioned her in my camp. She is the one who came up with the self-compassion scale. She has done a lot of research on the idea of self-compassion. I'm going to get rid of the bottom so we have more space. Okay, so the reason I'm going to ask you to read that book is because people who have had traumatic experiences, what do they need? They need validation, they need acceptance, hopefully from someone from outside. It could be a good therapist, or it could be some mentor or a family member or one friend. If they hear from this person, you are okay, you are fine, then that is beginning of the healing. But guess what? Sometimes it's hard to have a consistent outside friend because they have their own issues too. And if that is the case, we need a friend in ourselves. Self compassion can be cultivated, and there are several exercises you can do. Meditation, yes, you can do self compassion meditation and other exercises, and Kristen Neff's book is excellent for that purpose. So please read the self compassion book if you want to develop a friend in yourself. And believe me, when you make friends with yourself, it becomes easier to make friends with the outside world because your wound gets healed. Even if somebody says something, in reality, think about it. It really is not such a big deal. It does seem like extremely big deal to the person who's wounded. For example, imagine that someone is overweight. Now, if a friend or someone you know mentions anything about weight, and if you are already really, really sensitive about your weight issue, you are not going to like someone else saying something. You will think that they are being insensitive, they are being purposely hurtful. Sometimes they may be insensitive, sometimes it may be they don't realize certain things. They may have their own life experiences with weight, or they may have their own experiences with body image, or in general, what they think about physical appearance. But it's hard to think about that aspect and let go. You get stuck with the fact that this person is not a nice person. I don't want to see them again. I don't want to have any contact with them again. Sometimes people have this pervasive feeling, I'm not that interesting. I'm not a high energy person. I'm not very funny. I cannot be, a life of a party. I'm kind of quiet. I'm shy. I'm on the side. I'm like a wallflower. Now, for that, when you have that kind of a feeling, again, I want to urge you to look at why is this need to be life of a party? Is that necessary? What is your strength? Maybe you're a good listener, or maybe you are somebody who can make one or two friends and you can enjoy their company, or they can enjoy your company. You don't need a whole bunch of friends. Do you really need the whole world to be your friend? Is it necessary to be approved and liked by everybody? But for doing all these questions, you need a friend in yourself. So self compassion is a healer that you can definitely use along with whatever else you want to do. Now, there are some people who have not this problem I'm talking about. They have problem with the family. They have friends. Friends are fine. But family is the problem person or problem in their life. They feel that maybe the family angers them or they anger the family. And if that is happening, one more time, as I said, compassion and self-compassion both are useful. The reason self-compassion is useful is it's sort of like on the plane when they tell you that if the oxygen drops down, the mask drops, and first you're supposed to revive yourself before attending to the baby on your side, and it makes sense. Self-compassion is like that oxygen mask, and you have to slowly believe in yourself. And because of understanding and believing in yourself, it's easier to do that with other family members. Compassion for family members also to mean to know where they are coming from, to have understanding of their personalities and issues. Now, when I say that, people raise one point. They say things like, but then what about me? If this person is so difficult and if they're doing these hurtful things, how can I just understand them? They will take advantage of it. They may think I'm a doormat. This will give a message to them, whatever they are doing is okay. They will keep saying hurtful things, doing hurtful things. Compassion is misunderstood. Compassion is understanding of the other person. That will help you to deal with your own anger when it comes to family. And beyond that, it doesn't mean you don't do anything about the situation. In fact,
When you are really angry, it will be hard for you to think about what you want to do. There are several things you could do once you take care of yourself. So, compassion itself, in some sense, is to take care of yourself. Then you can take care of the other person. When you understand the other person, you can decide what you want to do. There's several things. One is you may decide, I need a distance for a while. I need to grow up. Maybe I'm being too dependent on my family. I need to grow up and have an appropriate adult like distance from them. Sometimes you may decide that, oh, I understand where the person is coming from. In fact, I can be a good listener to them. I can listen to what they have to say. Maybe what they are trying to tell me may have some truth in it. Maybe I can look at it. Not self blaming, but just taking responsibility for whatever they are saying. Sometimes it can be both. Sometimes it may give you a courage to communicate in the proper way, not whining, not complaining, but firm, like, I really don't like this. All these different actions are possible once you have compassion or some understanding for the person, and then also self compassion. If you are the one who feels like you are the one who are getting angry, you are the one who's hot headed and says things, then that's something, in fact, good news, because that means you have to work only on yourself. You have a little more control over what you want to do. Then there are friends, I mean, people who have just one or two difficult people. Whatever I'm saying applies to them as well. I don't feel I need to get separately in that area. So, given that self compassion and compassion are important components, where is mindfulness in this? Now, as I said, there are actions, several actions you can take. What action would be the right thing? For that, you need insight. Do a feeling awareness meditation. You don't need to ruminate and go over the problem again and again in order to solve it. Understand you don't need to do it, you know the problem. Now you want to let go. And when you get time, sit and do a feeling awareness meditation to get insight into how you want to go about dealing with these difficult people or family. What action you want to take. That's where the wisdom lies, and that's how you want to use your mindfulness. The other way, obviously, is the rumination gets reduced because of mindfulness. Because you know you don't need to solve everything right away. It will get solved. This will pass too. Self compassion will help you to feel okay, what you need at that time when you're ruminating and going over again and again. How could she do that? Or, I got angry. How could I do that? This was so stupid. I have this personality. Use self compassion. It's okay. We are all human. We all make mistakes. And also, we all need love. Give a hug to yourself. You practice self compassion, practice compassion, and then let go of the rumination. I hope this helps you. And given that, now we are going to do a meditation. Before that, let me take a couple of sips of my tea, and I hope you have something with you to join me with. So, this tea will allow you to bring yourself here and now at the moment. I've said a lot of things. You may be thinking about it. If there is a specific situation that you think you have which did not fit what I was talking about, feel free to write that question here or on the email. Meanwhile, let's bring ourselves here and now by paying attention to the tea or any one object that you choose. Mindfulness is like a mental gym. If you want to tone, you need to keep practicing. But there will be times when you are not able to attend the gym. That's okay. As soon as you can, go back to it. And overall, those of you who have joined the 6 week camp and have been doing this once a week with me, I would say you guys have already developed certain toning, certain muscles to do heavy lifting. Some emotions are like really heavy lifting. They're unpleasant, but no matter how unpleasant they are, that will pass too. And then we enjoy these pockets of joy, such as this warm cup of tea. And then more. Sometimes you feel connected with a person. Sometimes you're kind to somebody and get a smile from them. Doesn't always happen. Just because you are nice to somebody, you may or may not get things in return, but sometimes you may. Let me get my gong. And now close your eyes. And today I'm going to do an interesting self-compassion meditation. Few deep breaths. Pay attention to your breath for a little bit. And now in front of your mind's eyes, think about a situation where you had a difficult time with a person because of something they did, something they said that was either hurtful or aggravating. And now imagine two chairs, one in which this person is sitting and saying and doing whatever you found aggravating or very hurtful. They're saying that to you. And the second chair where it's you sitting. Imagine this situation. Think about what they said. And you may actually feel it right now. Maybe not with the same intensity, but you may feel your heart racing a little harder, or you feeling either angry or disturbed. You may feel that. Some of you may not. It's not important to actually hear the words. It's more important to pay attention how you are feeling. Just imagine. Whatever you did, whatever you said, whatever you reacted at that time, that's not what you're doing. Right now, you're just sitting in the chair And in front of your mind's eyes, imagine what you would really like. What in this situation do you think you need? Maybe what comes to your mind is this person who hurt you, for this person to somehow say, I understand you, I know what you're talking about, I'm sorry. Maybe that's what you need, but that hasn't happened yet. Or it may be unrealistic for you to think about that to happen in the nearest future. So that's not a possibility. Then what do you need? You're not analyzing it. You are just opening yourself up emotionally and just allow yourself to think or feel what is it that you need. You need a feeling of I'm okay, I'm fine, in spite of whatever this person said or did. I'm still okay. There are reasons why whatever I did happened. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me or that I'm somehow flawed. That's not what it is about. It's about maybe I made a mistake or maybe that person made a mistake. But that's okay, we are all human. Understand the common humanity, especially for yourself. Understand that you are human. Allow yourself to just understand I'm human. There are things about me that may be difficult or maybe mistakes, or maybe there are things that are really good about me that make absolute sense. With both together, I'm human. Even when things are difficult, they pass and I'm still okay. Allow yourself to just allow yourself to understand this, your own humanity. Good and bad together, you are a person with value. You are okay. If there is a mistake you have made, you will understand it and will try not to do it again. If there is something that you feel you were misunderstood by this person, do you understand yourself? Are you sure that you know you were right? And if that's the case, then just give a hug to yourself and say, I was right. I was okay. I'm okay. I don't need approval from everybody because I know when I do something why I do it and what happens. I know I am my own friend. I understand myself. I don't need approval from each and every person. Give yourself a big hug. And now look at this person who's sitting in the chair across from you and just smile. No need to say anything, just smile. Give a hug to yourself and smile. May I accept myself the way I am. May I accept myself the way I am. May I know when I do what. May I know myself. May I accept myself the way I am. And then you will know what you want to change. If you want to change something, you will do it on your own accord. May I accept myself the way I am. I'm human. I'm not supposed to be perfect. And if I want to change something about me, I will do it on my own accord. Allow these feelings to go deep. Open your heart up and allow these feelings to go deep. Smile and hug yourself. And now come back to your breath again. Pay attention to the breath and say the line 3 times to yourself. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. So now I am going to just have my cup of tea a little bit for a little bit longer to allow you guys to ask any questions if you have any or comments. It takes a little bit of a time for the comments to show up on the screen. So I'm going to stay here for a little bit longer. If I leave before you are actually able to think and ask questions, of course you can email me on to meditatetogether@gmail.com. I hope you guys could see this session and I hope you are able to comment. So since I don't see any questions or comments, well, as I'm talking, I see something. So Richard is saying, thank you and thanks, Richard. I'm glad to see you here because that means, first of all, that you are ultimately successful in having a live session. Susan says, is it helpful to send good thoughts to the other person in the chair, such as, I hope someday you will understand me, or would this someday you will understand me, would this be craving for something that may never happen? Not at all, Susan, because what you're saying is, I hope, and that's all. That's the fact. You hope. May you understand me someday. And in fact, that can be a very comforting thought to send that wish to the other person. May you understand me someday. You're not craving, you are not too attached to it. And again, another thanks. Thank you. I'm glad that you guys were able to see me in the end. Um, LK says, I found this medication very helpful because the emotions are less than in the moment that you're being hurt, and so you can actually think more objectively about yourself and the other person. And that's so true. And that's one thing you do want to do. Let's say in the moment you say something, do something, and later on you're wondering, should I have, or what they said, also you may have reacted too much. So when you are meditating, first of all, you are able to be more objective, and it's so important to accept yourself and understand whatever you did, there was a reason. No need to blame or hold on to the blame, but take responsibility. Once you're looking at it objectively, you can take responsibility for what you thought you could have done differently. So next time you can try that out. So accepting and then understanding our humanity, then you can change. Acceptance doesn't mean no change. It means first to understand and make friends with yourself. Okay, Wendy, you just missed me and she just logged on, but that's okay. You have the recorded session and I hope you catch up. And thank you, everybody. That was wonderful. And I will see you next Thursday. And please, in the beginning, if there is any problem, please just hang on and try a little bit here and there. Like somebody said that they had to go to the YouTube instead of Google Plus, or try clicking on the 7 p.m. slot. Last time, some people said that 7 p.m. thought a slot is when where they had to click. I will try to make sure as much as I can, as much as I know, that everything goes well. But if it doesn't, try a couple of things and ultimately it will start. Okay. So bye everybody and I'll see you next time.